morning, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. We're just waiting for people to finish coming in, and we'll get started immediately. Okay. Can you all see my screen? Wonderful. I'm Carol Kaufman, and I'm here to explain very quickly to you how to create a home inventory. And I'm going to give you the reasons behind it, and we're going to get right into it. I've been involved in helping people get organized, both operationally and personally, since 1979, believe it or not. I've been a professional organizer for since about 2009, 2010. And my bottom line is that I create software solutions and services to solve organizational problems. So the first thing I want to tell you is a little bit about what the webinar is going, what the rules are. If you stay for the entire webinar, for the portion where I'm speaking, we are going to have a raffle. And the raffle is for everybody who's participating. And it is going to spin that wheel, and whoever's name comes up is going to win 1 free year's worth of Pinventory subscription. So just thought I'd let you know that. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I have an assistant who I'm very proud to say is my son, Aaron, and he will be orchestrating from behind, and he'll be looking at the questions that come up. Put the questions in the chat. At the end of the presentation, we'll have 30 minutes or however long you need for me to answer all of your questions. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to get started. The first thing is, what's a home inventory? And the answer is, it's a catalog of your home and its contents, both physical and digital items, including your critical documents for each location where they reside. Now, a family can have more than one inventory. You can have a primary residence, a country home, a boat, a warehouse. You can have items in transit. You can have a safe deposit box. And of course, you can have items on the internet. The average family, the average person has 100 online accounts. A home inventory is important for so many reasons. It's primarily to prepare for these kinds of moments. The photo on the bottom left is the photo I took during Ida in New Jersey. The photo on the top right is Katrina, a friend of mine, lost every single thing they had in their home. Their home went completely underwater, as did everyone's in the neighborhood. And she did not get any insurance for contents because she didn't have a home inventory. She couldn't prove what she had. The statistics that are so overwhelming that add to the reason home inventories are so important is that $63.8 billion have been issued due to weather-related losses in 2020, which was up from 54.2 billion in 2019. And that's just in the US. They're expecting that every year these numbers are going to increase. 67% of homeowners and renters are underinsured. 50% of Americans are getting divorced, and 16.1% of Americans are moving or downsizing. And believe it or not, that number is significantly growing because of seniors. Insurance claims only cover what you can prove you owned just prior to a loss. So knowing the value of your assets also determines the amount of insurance that you need. And remember the number that I said, 67% of people are underinsured. After a disaster, knowing the amount of your loss will also determine the amount of financial assistance you receive from the government. These are just a few reasons a home inventory is so important. Weather-related losses, theft, moving, divorce, estate planning, homeowners insurance coverage, gifting and transfers, and putting together your collections and collectibles. There are so many more reasons as well. People living longer tend to accumulate more things. And even if they wanted to tell their family where things were, their memory tends to fade and they forget. And what happens is assets can easily then fall through the cracks. There's a story, and I put the link in here. There was a rabbi that bought a secondhand desk and had to disassemble it to get it up the stairs. So when his wife was disassembling it, she reached into one of the drawers and she found a paper bag. It had $98,000 in cash in it. And when they called the former owner, the owner said, "Oh my gosh, I forgot. My mom gave me that bag of cash because she didn't trust banks and I didn't know where to put it. So I put it in the desk." So you can see there are many, many reasons for remembering why you have things. Just taking a photo, and we're going to talk about taking photos, but it's very important. Just taking the photo is certainly less time up front. But if you ever need that information, you're going to have hundreds or thousands of photos that you've taken that you may have stored in the cloud that you'll need to scroll through to find the ones you want. And you'll still need to have to organize them and get the information on them to be able to use it. And that alone would take hours. So we're going to talk about creating a home inventory in less than 90 minutes. We're going to start right now. And the most important thing to remember is just taking the home inventory is so key to anything that happens to you in the future, even if all you're taking are photos. Not the best, but we'll cover that too. So one big consideration is, do I use a video or do I use a camera? That's the great debate. And the answer for me, hands down, use the camera. The reason? It'll take you just about as long to do the video as it does the camera. And the problem with the video is how to store it, how to share it, how to keep it updated. You change one item and all of a sudden you have to deal with your home inventory and make sure that it isn't stale. It's very difficult to do that if all the photos you're taking are via a video camera. There are many layers of a home inventory. It's like peeling back an onion. The layers are to take basic room views, to look at specific assets, to do your collections and collectibles, to do all of your digital assets, which include online accounts and URLs, domain names. You may have Bitcoin, you may have Ethereum, which are cryptocurrencies. You may have NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which are the latest in art. You could have supporting documents for your specific assets, your collections, and you can have critical documents. All of these comprise a real home inventory. Today, we are going to focus on basic room views. And the reason for that are many. The biggest bang for your buck in terms of the time that you spend is getting the big picture. Because with advances in cell phone resolution, you can zoom in to see specific items if necessary. It is most timely with what's happening around the world today in terms of extreme weather. It's the least invasive. You can have your family help and you're not giving away confidential information. And it makes the biggest impact because it identifies the what and the where of everything that you own that's important to you. And it might not be financially valuable, but it also could be extremely sentimentally valuable. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to count the number of rooms you have. You're going to be taking 7 photos per room. People keep asking me, how can you do this in 90 minutes? It can't happen. But the reality is, if you have a process, if you've thought it through, if you really have a piece of paper or some kind of way to track what you've done and what you yet need to do, you actually can do a home inventory in under 90 minutes. So all of you need to think, how many rooms do you have? And we're going to talk about that. But you're going to be taking 7 photos per room. Now you can take more if you want. It will only add 1 minute per photo. You want each wall, which is 4, the ceiling, which is 5, the floor, which is 6, and a panoramic view of the whole room. And once you have that, remember, because of the resolution of cell phones, you can zoom in on each of those photos if you've properly taken the photos, and you can see what you had. Now, this is also really good for remembering things. The reason I say you can take more than 7, you may just want to open the door to any closet you have and take a photo there, and open the drawers of any of the cabinets that you have, or desks that you have, and take a photo there, because it will remind you what's in those places so that you can go back and take additional photos if you feel that you need to. Now, also, we wanted to put a link to the handouts, but for some reason, we haven't been able to figure out how to do that. Therefore, you can go to our website, and our handouts are right there. They pop right up, and all you have to do is put your name in, and they'll be sent to you immediately. So this one is for planning the rooms. And you can see, you can put the name of the room, and then it will give you a checklist of if you've done your panorama, if you've done your photos of each wall, if you've done the ceiling, if you've done the floor, and if you've done the items in the room. So when you're counting rooms, consider the halls with photos like the one over here as a room, because you're going to have to get those photos somehow. Consider the stairs with photos on them as a room. Consider the outside of your house, anywhere from 1 to 3 rooms, depending upon how big your property is. You're going to be taking the house from all sides and the property. So now count the rooms. Take the number of rooms that you've come up with and multiply them by 7. And it's 1 minute per photo. Did you then divide your answer by 60, because that's 60 minutes in an hour? That's how many hours it will take one person to create a basic home inventory of your physical belongings. So if you have 10 rooms and you have 7 photos per room, it's
Thank
70.
you, hon. I know, I apologize.
Somebody
sounds like
is
it's-
somebody. Okay. That's 70 minutes divided by 60. That's 1 hour and 10 minutes to photograph a 10-room home. The next thing we want to talk about is, as I said, if you're using a product like Pinventory, when you take your photo, you can input the name of the item or the room and any notes you want. And that's included in the 1 minute. If you're not using something like Pinventory, you're just taking photos. And eventually, if you need those photos, you're going to have to organize them by room and figure out how to properly utilize them, how to name them, how to describe them, how to associate information with them. with our product inventory, that's all done for you during that 1 minute. The other thing that it does is it automatically saves all the information you've input and every photo securely to an online account. So whether you do it with just your camera or whether you do it with the Pinventory app, you're going to be doing exactly the same thing, exactly the same way. It's just that if you want to plan for future, it's much easier, much less expensive time-wise, and much less expensive dollar-wise to use something like Pinventory. You can see that we have our second free interactive PDF, which is many pages. And Aaron, I will give credit to, who created this. It lets you itemize the items that you've taken photos of in each room. You can add to it, you can take away from it. It's totally interactive. So let's get ready and get set and start taking photos. These are the 7 basic photos of each room. Each wall, you're going to take a photo of each wall. Normally, you can do it, and you want to name, if you are using something like Pinventory, you want to name the photo, because a lot of times you take many, many photos and then you can't remember which room is which, especially if you've taken specific items. So I would just use the basic living room north, living room east, living room south, living room west, living room view, LR ceiling, LR floor. You could do LR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because then you automatically, if you're giving it a name, and if you give the photo, you can't give the photo a name if you're just using your camera. But if in fact you are using an app like the Pinventory app, once you see the photos, they're all automatically organized alphanumerically. So you could see all the rooms at the same time, in each order. So you're taking each wall, you're taking the floor, and notice that we got both the wood floor and the rug. You want to show that you had natural wood floors. You want to show that you had a Berber rug. You want to show the ceiling. And you can take a home inventory, not just to prove what you had, but if you're redoing your home, if you're moving from one place to another, and you want to make sure that everything is properly organized the same way that you had it, especially with seniors downsizing. With the you also can use it if you are doing interior design of some sort. You're redoing a room, you're at the interior designer, and they say to you, well, what kind of lights do you have on the ceiling? What does it look like? If you have access to those photos, you can get them immediately. Finally, you want a panorama view of the room. So those are your 7. Again, if you have closets, open them up. If you have drawers, pull them out and just take the photos. More so that you can remember what it is that was valuable to you, financially or sentimentally, that you want to go back and possibly take additional photos of. A photo in the Pinventory app looks just like this. All of these photos were taken with Pinventory. So you can see there's the photo, and you can input the name, which is LR West, and the residence and the location and the notes. And you can dictate notes about the photo that you've taken, and they'll all go in automatically to the online secure platform. If you're looking for specific items, you can zoom in. And even if fuzzy, you can tell what they are. That's why it's so important to take just the 7 photos. You can zoom in on anything. Of course, for the best resolution, if you have something that you feel is financially or sentimentally valuable, take an additional photo of that. Make doing this exercise a family affair. Think about it. Most kids have cell phones. If you're 8, 9, 10 years old, think about what this could do for the family. Number one, it's a great family project for Thanksgiving. Number two, think of the skills that it reinforces: photography, organizing, math, research, valuation, storytelling. And most important, it helps your family contribute to your legacy. All of a sudden, they understand the importance of being prepared. And it's certainly something that, and think about the math logic of this. If you're all together for Thanksgiving and there are 4 of you, and you give each person a different room to take, you can all be taking photos, you can all be inputting the information, and you've just cut your time as to how long it takes to do that home inventory in quarters. So it'll take a quarter of an hour instead of an hour. Again, you can always take additional photos. You're going to take the basic photo and you can see this is a hutch. And now you're going to open the drawer, open the cabinet of the hutch and just take a photo. And then you can see, oh my goodness, I forgot. I have these pieces of china and I really need to do that, so that eventually you will take specific items of financially or sentimentally valuable things. That's how to do it in 90 minutes. Anything extra is a little extra time, but it also helps consolidate everything so that you know what you have and you can get to what you have. The reason I created Pinventory is because I got that phone call that nobody wants to get. My parents were on their way back from their country home and they were in a car accident. My mom was instantly killed and my dad was in a coma and he was airlifted to the hospital. When he awakened from the coma, he'd lost all of his executive level skills. So for the next 14 years, I became his primary care coordinator. When he passed away, I went on a 5-year scavenger hunt looking for everything that I needed to be able to settle the estate. He had written a data locator, a list of everything, but he'd done it 5 years before the accident. This was now 5 years before plus 14 years, 19 years later. The data locator, which was his form of a home inventory, was stale. He hadn't put the combination to the home safe, so I had to get a safe cracker. The attorney wasn't the same. The accountant wasn't the same. The investments weren't the same. So I went on a real scavenger hunt. And that's why I created this product that I am offering for people to use. So digital assets at that time weren't even that well known. So from online accounts to those non-fungible tokens, be sure that they're listed in your inventory. Consider your collections and collectibles. Some people don't want to start with a home inventory. They want to start with their prized wine collection. We have a client who has a wine collection, has 4 homes, and they have a very, very expensive wine collection piece of software in the thousands of dollars. They have opted to use Pinventory to keep track of everything because it's easy and it's fun. Consider your critical documents. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal many years, 10 years ago, the 25 documents you need before you die. It's still as relevant today as it was 10 years ago. So Google it, you'll find it. Consider taking photos when you're downsizing or moving. Once you've taken your home inventory and you know how to take those photos, it becomes easier to find more and more ways to utilize photo taking for organizational types of tasks. This is a home inventory catalog, and the reports that you'll see, and I'll do this at the end, all came out of Pinventory. They're automatically generated. And what you can do is once you've got your information in, just print it out. You can save it to PDF. You can save it to Excel. You could save it to Word. And that way you can share it. And you can also add your supplemental information like receipts and valuations. So here's the summary. Let's see. 25 minutes. Okay. Number one, you want to count the number of rooms that you have. Number two, you want to take 7 photos per room, keeping track of what you've done. If you're using Pinventory, put in the name, the location, and if you want some description. Be sure your inventory is up to date and that you have it stored so you can easily access it whenever and wherever you need to. Anything else? Just one thing, be sure to keep your information current. They say that the most current is when you get married because you have the registry. So the best time to do your home inventory is probably 20 years ago. The next best time to do your home inventory is now. The worst time to do it is when you say, I'll do it when I get some time. Why? To protect the ones you love. That's the bottom line, and to give you peace of mind. So, does anyone have any questions? All right, what about the contents of the cabinet? Well, again, when you're doing a basic home inventory, you want to see what's inside the cabinets so that you can decide what you feel is valuable to you, financially or sentimentally. And then that can be your second iteration. That can be the next project that you do. Someone said, I do not see where to get the handouts on the website. What you can do is go to the website, and within 1 minute, you'll see a pop-up that it's www.pinventory.com. And when you go there, you will get a pop-up that says you can get a free interactive PDF. What else? There are also different types of reports. Someone asked what types of reports. On Pinventory, we have reports that will automatically be created for your insurance claims. So that if you have some damage, you can just print out a report of whatever was damaged, and it will give you exactly what the insurance company wants. You can do asset distribution reports. Once you've got all of your items, part of the program is to let you decide what you'd like to give to whom. You can also run the report, send it to your family, which are probably located all over the country, if not the world, and let them select what things they might be interested in eventually. Pinventory keeps track of all of that. And as you determine what you're going to sell, what you're going to give away, what you're going to keep, what you're going to donate, it'll keep track of all of that. We are also in the process, very exciting, of creating an interface with an online auction house so that if in fact you have Pinventory and you've got all of your items, if you would then like to put them into an auction or sell them online, we will have the interface that will let you do that and not have to re-input it. Yes, this is a recording. This is being recorded, and you certainly can have the replay. Let's just see. I would update. Good question. Julie Hirsch, excellent question. How often do you update an inventory? As long as you've got a catalog of it, and I will show you the catalog right now, you can update, you can look and you can see what's getting stale, what isn't there anymore. And you can just take one photo, or you can delete one photo, you can hide a photo, so that you can always keep it up to date. I would recommend, if you have a major purchase, that you add it. Otherwise, I would look it over once a quarter just to make sure that it's up to date. Yes, the site is secure. In all of the photos, all of the documents, all of the critical information, it's all encrypted. The software is in the cloud. It is on Rackspace, and it's backed up every night. For Allison, yes. If you're doing this for clients, it makes sense to create an account in your client's name. And we can talk about how to use it as organizers, but let me just get to everyone who is general public, and then we can get back to that. Okay, the one thing that I would like to do is show you hold on 1 minute. And what I'm going to do, if I can find it, is show you this, which is the catalog that I create when I do a home inventory for a client. Can everybody see this? Okay. These photos all are reports that came out of inventory. Every one of these that you see. And what I did is I saved them as PDFs and then consolidated all the PDFs. And you can see those are the photos of things that I had taken. Looks pretty cool. We're very excited about it. You can do artwork, you can do sports cards, we've got wine collections, everything. So that is an example of Pinventory. And then if you wanted to, well, I don't know that we have time for Pinventory, but does anyone have any questions? The ability to do the catalog itself is not within the program, but the ability to create the PDF for the catalog is within the program. There are many different programs that do catalogs. The one that I chose is called FlipSnack. And I pay $48 a month, but it will do 100 different catalogs. So you don't need to be spending that. Someone's asking about pricing. Pricing for Pinventory, $6.95 a month for a home inventory. So if you do the cost benefit analysis of how much time it would take you taking photos just with your cell phone camera, or taking photos with Pinventory app that automatically sends the information to the online account. And from there, you can create your professional looking report. You can do your asset distributions. You can add all kinds of information. It's all organized for you. And you can cancel at any time. And anybody on this call will be receiving a special coupon of 15% off of Pinventory. So just for being on the call. If you cancel, do you lose your information? We keep the information online. We will allow you one cancellation and restore to go back to your information. But if you want to restore it again, you're going to have to, you can't start it, stop it, start it, stop it, because that takes a lot of effort on our part. So we will charge after the first time. Okay. Aaron, did I get all the questions?
We have a question on what is your advice for researching and recording the cost of items?
Okay. You would be able to answer that. Aaron is our head of operations and marketing, and he does a lot of work on valuations.
So there are lots of ways that you can do that. There is appraisal, but there are also some ways you can do it yourself. You can get a general idea of the current value of an item, for example, by going onto eBay and looking at what they have recently sold for, not what they are selling for, but what they have sold for. That's just one little way to get an idea. And then there are also, for insurance purposes, there's also replacement value. So there are different kinds of value.
Yeah, Aaron brought up a very good point. People sometimes say, well, if I do a home inventory, do I need to get an appraisal? Do I need a valuation? If I do a valuation or an appraisal, do I need to do a home inventory? The answer is they're both complementary and very important. A home inventory does not value things. A home inventory shows what you have. An appraisal values an item. And if you need, the question would then come in, do I need an appraisal? That depends. You have to know what your insurance policy covers, what the cap is. You have to, because a lot of insurance policies cover up to $1,500 per item. You might want to schedule certain things. We don't give insurance advice. We don't do appraisals, but we certainly work with people that do. And we're happy to put you in touch with someone. They won't charge, we won't charge to answer any of your questions. Before we go, why don't I share my screen one more time and let's see who's going to win that 1 year's subscription. How about that? Let's just take a look here. Okay, are we ready, everyone? Is Nancy Rivera here? Is Nancy Rivera here? No answer? Nope. Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay, we'll do it again. Is Mary Draper here?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Gotta be here to win it. Denise, is Denise here?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Pam Woods? I'm afraid a lot of people have left. Allison Schnipper.
Yes.
Allison Schnipper, you win 1 year's worth of inventory. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Sounds like an amazing product. I can't wait to use it. Thank you.
Well, you'll enjoy. If you have any questions, be sure to get in touch with me.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else, Erin, any other questions?
There were a few other questions. If we don't get to all of them, we can always reach out to people or they can contact us.
Barry Isaac, the wheel is, it's a free wheel. It's an app and it's called Wheel of Names. And it's so much fun. Okay.
Somebody asked if there's a separate grouping for holiday decorations.
Any kind of collection that you want, that we believe others will want, Erin will have one of our team do the research on what fields should be used, and we will create the collection for free at no charge, and we will add it to Pinventory. So currently, we have vinyl records, rare books, books of any kind. We have the dimensions and information about each room. We have all the information about a home, kind of like a real estate listing. We have sport card collections and we have wine collections. We're working on doll collections and watch collections.
And just
Anything
to clarify, those are collections where we have all of these predefined fields. But if you were doing something like holiday decorations, you can make that an item type. And we have a whole bunch of item types already available in a drop-down menu, but you can create your own very easily and very quickly.
We also have an unlimited number of custom fields, so you can always add. Anna asked about a large collection of vintage and antiques. Yes, we do have that. You can utilize the system the way it is, or if you can identify the specific fields that you want for multiple records, then we'll create a collection. Other questions?
Is the $6.95 for one inventory, or can we share with our customers?
It's for one inventory. I would always recommend that if you have a client, that client should open the account. Now, there are two ways to do it. You can give a gift of Pinventory for 3 months or 6 months or a year, and we'll create an e-gift card that you can give them. And then at the end of that period of time, you want to switch it over to their account for legal purposes, because you want them to have that information. So we do not allow consolidating more than one client's information. Now, a client could have 4 homes, as one of our clients do. You can create 4 inventories. Each additional inventory is an additional $5 a month. But then if you're moving things from one residence to another, you can do that and you can keep track of it. Anything else? Other questions? Well, I thank everyone for, someone's in the waiting room? Okay. I thank everyone for your time. Again, we do have a recording of this webinar, and I'm happy to make it available. I have a feeling we're going to be doing more webinars like this because we got such an incredible response. And I think that what we're going to be doing is tackling each of those different areas. Today, we talked about the basic, just going in and in 90 minutes, getting it all done. You will be amazed how much peace of mind you will feel just spending an hour and a half or an hour or a half an hour going through your home and taking the photos. And because you will then be able to look at them And you'll then be able to start mulling in your mind. What do I want? What don't I want? What do I want to give away? What do I want to donate? Is this something that I actually need to get insured? So all of the questions will start coming up just for having spent that little bit of time. And again, it's such a wonderful project during the holidays. So thank you so much for attending. I'll stick around. Erin will stick around. We're happy to show you Pinventory if you want. And just let me know.
And yes, we'll send a link out to the people who registered. That was a question too. We will send a link to the recording.
Yes, absolutely. I got a number of emails from people that said that they were not going to be able to participate. And please, could they have the link? The answer, and I said to them, yes, but you won't have a chance at winning the 1-year subscription. So, Janine, it's so good to see you, even if it's just your face. Okay, anybody have any other questions? I guess we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. And let's see. People are looking forward to future presentations. That's good. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a very happy Thanksgiving and a healthy Thanksgiving and a productive Thanksgiving. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. I'm just curious, what was the name of the catalog that you said that you used?
Flip Snack, FLIPSNACK.
Oh, even the name is cute. Flip snack. Thank you so much. This was great. I really
You-
appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right. Be well. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I think we're good to go. I'm going to end the meeting and I hope to see you